In a world where friendship means nothing and betrayal is measured in Pokeballs, only one trainer can survive the Johto grind. Okay, maybe it's not that dramatic, but I have 100 more days to suffer through. Let's go! Howdy wowdy and welcome back to the Pokémon Dex Challenge. This is gonna be day 101 and things are about to get a whole lot messier. In the last 100 days, my buddy Spoon and I did the unthinkable. We caught every single Pokemon from the Kanto region. That's right, all 151 of those pixelated beasts are chilling in RPC boxes right now. But this time, it's Johto time. New region, new Pokédex, and a whole lot of grinding ahead. Now, I'm not just catching them all for fun. This time, I've got bigger goals. Unlock every gimmick this mod pack has to offer. Terrestrializing, Z-moves, even Dynamaxing. If it sparkles, explodes, or makes my Pokemon look ridiculous, I want it. Actually build a storage system, so I don't keep losing my rare items in the chest labels, miscellaneous junk. And yes, I will get a beacon, even if it's the saddest, most pathetic excuse for a beacon you have ever seen. Oh, and this one's personal. Last time I got absolutely smacked by my friend Ryan in a Pokemon battle. This time, I'm coming back with vengeance. I want victory, and maybe a little revenge. I want justice! But let's get ready to dive into day 101 of my 200 days in Cobblemon. Buckle up.
We are playing 200 days in Minecraft in the Pokemon world.
But before we can start, I have to tell you about the slight changes. The old world got corrupted, so we had to make a new world. Don't panic though, we have the exact same homes and items as the last time. But now, let's have Spoon finally explain what we're doing.
Oh well, anyway, 200 days in Cobblemon. Well, we're doing 100 days on top of the other 100 days. Which
As you
makes
can see,
200
we're
days.
starting on day 101.
Yeah. So we're not really doing 200 days. But in total, we would have done 200 days.
200... Well, an elf Pokemon has spawned near somebody.
Are we clickbaiting?
Oh, hello. No, we're not clickbaiting. It's 200 days in the same world, even though we did change worlds, but that's beside the point. I gave everyone their new Pokedex and Mega Bracelet, as we had these in the last 100 days, but are using different mods this time. Oh, and Dan checks Ryan power level.
You got some levels over 9,000, Ryan.
We then figured out Giratina is slightly broken, and am I seeing that correctly? Is that a subscribe button? You should probably subscribe so Giratina can be fixed. Everyone then started to check their old Pokemon, and Ryan sent out an enormous Guzzlord.
Wow, why is he so huge?
Danny.
My God, he's whoa, look at him.
I then made a nether portal for Dan, since he was gonna try and get a netherite golden go. And then to start off our Johto journey, I evolved my shiny Hoot Hoot into Noctowl, with the new evolution animation. I then went through my PC to check what Gen 2 Pokemon I already had from the last 100 days, which were Pichu, Igglybuff, and Heracross. I'm not counting the shinies, as I saved these in a different box. I might change these rules later. I customized my boxes in the PC, and then put the Pokemons in their corresponding order. It then turned out that the world was lagging, so I tried to fix this. I then caught myself a Hoppip, a Miltank, a Skiploom, and another Hoppip. I evolved one of the Hoppips into Skiploom, and the Skiploom into Jumpluff. Although, thanks to the lag, it took a while. Okay, there they go. But that means we've already finished our first evolution line. And it's only day 102. It was then time to upgrade my backpack into a diamond backpack, before catching myself a Mareep. I made a small farm in my garden for Vivichokes, before finding out I don't need any, because we won't have any fossils in this generation. Then I caught myself a Hoot Hoot, a Mareep that I evolved into Fluffy, a Rotom that I forgot was in Gen 4, and another Mareep. I then found myself a King's Rock, which we will need to evolve a couple of Pokemons later. After that I found Pallet Town, which I looted, and then caught myself a Sentret, who I evolved into Ferret. Before catching another Sentret. I also caught a Pineco, and another Pineco. I then evolved Mareep into Fluffy, and Ryan got some handy information from a friend.
So guys, I just want to make you guys aware, and I found out from a friend, not for experience. Just want to clarify that before I start saying this. You get an ability capsule, 9 Dragon's Breath, 12 Dragon Scales, 8 Dragon Fangs, and 8 rare candies if you kill a Rayquaza.
Your friend's very specific.
Yeah. So you kill Rayquaza.
Yeah.
I then continued my catching spree as I caught a Remoraid, a Marill, a Hoot Hoot, which I evolved into Noctowl, a Spinarak, and another Spinarak. Oh, and then I found these two villagers doing something weird. And while I was catching a Murkrow, Ryan got impaled by a Stalagmite.
Well, I guess I'm not getting that Rayquaza.
You was impaled on a stalagmite. Damn.
I was only 13,500 kilometers away.
Yo, insert GIF of Kratos falling off a cliff.
Oh, and I caught the Murkrow, of course. Day 105 started off with us discussing goals, and we landed on this conversation.
Alright, I want you to get every version of Spinder.
Well, no, that's... No.
What?
No, that's not one up.
Are there?
That's not a one
Are
up.
there more than one?
Okay, Spoon.
you don't want to know about Spinder Spoon.
There's a lot of numbers involved.
So you know the pattern Spender's got on his body, right?
I need to see Ash stop moving. He's definitely Googling it.
You're trying to find the exact number.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is without shiny, Spoon, because you gotta remember all of them have a shiny form as well.
Oh wow.
So without shinies, it is 4,294,960. Wait, no, I'm doing my bad. Sorry. 4,249,976,269 versions.
69?
I'll go for the Torterras.
I caught a Slowpoke, which we'll need later, before evolving Fluffy into Ampharos. I caught another Remoraid, and when returning home, I gave my Slowpoke the King's Rock and traded it with Spoon to turn him into Slowking. I caught myself a Ladybab, and once I returned home, I found Dan in a chest stealing my diamonds. Dan, what are you doing here? Dan, diamonds back right now.
10 diamonds back now. 10?
I started to prepare some resources to make my storage system, and after feeding Spinarak and Pineco with some EXP candies, I went on to evolve them. I evolved Remoraid into Octillery, Spinarak into Ariados, and Pineco into Fortress. And Spoon then found out that Seedot wasn't actually Gen 2.
Oh, C-Dot is Hoenn.
Yeah, Seedot's Hoenn.
Fuck me.
Alright. It starts raining when I say that, that's crazy. Oh, never mind, it's starting. Being scared of the thunderstorm burning down my home, I decided to craft myself a lightning rod and place it on top of one of the houses. And then I still skipped the night. I then put my Onyx in the breeder, as we'll need another one to evolve into Steelix. Please don't ask me how my roof is holding its weight, I wouldn't know. I caught myself a Ladybab, and then at my first shiny of the 200 days spawned on me. Which I caught, of course. And when I returned home, Spoon had planted a ton of mangrove around my house. Oh my god, Spoon, the mangroves. I'm gonna fucking murder you. Where are you?
No,
Right, we're gonna have to- we're gonna have to do all of you.
catching. Oh, please. Go away! No, hear me. Wait, stop, you can kill me, but not now. No, wait.
Oh, I'm killing you now because I need to allocate myself.
No, listen, look, we can be friends. I'll get Ellicott, and then we talk.
There's 19 questions, Spoon.
You're in a
You
fucking
ready?
battle with it?
Yeah. I'm battling with it. Wait, no.
Oh, you're not battling
Why
with
did I
it.
spawn in your bed?
I don't know.
You caught it.
On the first ball! I then started digging out a little area behind my basement where I could hide my storage system. I evolved Ladybug into Ledian, I don't really know, and finished my storage system as I started to move everything over to it. And then I tried to hide it so Dan wouldn't steal anything anymore, but he managed to find it later on. Ryan then had an Onyx outbreak spawn on him, and me and Spoon were on our way there to catch one. Spoon's Charizard actually killed the Alpha Steelix, but it wasn't that bad as he had dropped a metal coat. After returning home, I gave Onyx the metal coat, before trading him with Spoon and evolving him into Steelix. With the chest hidden, I had more room in my base to place down the workstations. I then changed where my storage terminal was, so it would be easier for me to access. On day 110, I crafted 2 metal coats and an ash cap. What do I need an ash cap for, you ask? You'll figure that out a bit later. I gave my Scyther a metal coat and traded him with Spoon to evolve him into a Scizor. Dan then had a Zygarde spawn on him, but sadly wasn't able to catch it. I used a Clear Bell combined with 3 Thunderstones to spawn a Raikou for both Spoon and I. And then after 10 minutes of struggling, I caught our first legendary Pokemon of Johto. I made some capsules, which can do something really cool that was introduced in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. More on this later. For now, I just helped out Spoon with his storage system. I destroyed my Mega Bracelet and turned it into Archie's necklace using the Heart of the Sea, which looks pretty damn nice. I then made myself a capsule station before teaching Spoon how he could customize his Pokeballs. Just like how you could put stickers on your Pokeballs in Diamond and Pearl, we can craft stickers and put this on our Pokemon to make them look fabulous when they get out of their Pokeball. Spoon then gave me a couple of rare candies, which helped me level up Sceptile to level 100. I made a couple more stickers and made Jerry's Pokeball even more fabulous, before giving my Pichu my X, and he was looking ready for murder.
I'm ready to kill someone, boss. I'm getting him. I'm gonna get him. I swear.
It was at this point that I fixed Giratina, so Ryan could finally use it again. Dan then gave me a netherite upgrade trim, which will be helpful later. And later that day I got jump scared by a creeper. Twice.
No, not another one!
I tried to get some ender pearls to go to the end, and then I found out that Yungoos was broken because of the Giratina fix. But who cares about Yungoos, right? Ryan then wanted to show my Twitch chat how edgy he was, and speaking of Twitch, if you want to watch the live recordings of the 100 days videos, make sure to check out my Twitch, link in the description, so you can be one of the first to see everything that happens. And I just got some new emotes, so if you want to be one of the first people to use these, come say hi. But for now, let's return to this Cascoon I found, which looked interesting to say the least. I battled my first trainer, which was kinda cooking me, but luckily Scissor clutched up, which I rewarded with some extra large EXP candy. And then I made another backpack where I could store my Terra Shards and my Power Gems. On day 115, I decided it was time to do some more battling. But while I was fighting Professor Oak, Spoon showed me his Rayquaza.
Yo, wait, look at that shit, bro.
Why? He's got Mega Rayquaza!
Oh my god. Whoa, Jesus Christ, my god,
That's
chill out.
insane.
Unfortunately, I lost the battle, and Ryodu was quite the sore loser. Spoon and I decided to go mining, but instead found a Mega Site, which was already looted, but I did get a Deoxys Meteoroid from it. As we continued mining, I found a mine shaft, which actually had another Azure Flute for me. What am I supposed to do with multiple of these? After returning from the mine, we had a nice 28 diamonds to work with. Now, why did I need these? I forgot. Spoon then gave us a house tour.
All right, I'll do a home tour. So this is my crib. This is my bedroom, my dining area, my kitchen, my PC room, my chest
Isn't that
room.
just one room?
And I then messed around with the Pokemon menu, as we could now see the Terra type and their Dynamax level. I then explored a little and actually caught myself a Marill. The next day started off with finding a Squirtle, a Pokemon we had to breed last time since neither Spoon nor I could get one to spawn herself. Oh my god, is that a Squirtle? Squirtle. Squirtle. Oh, Squirtle. You, Squirtle. You, Squirtle. You didn't spawn a single time in the 100 days. Now you're dead. I looted a buried treasure before finding myself a Cobblemon structure added in 1.6. This structure had a Pokérod upgrade template, which meant we could make our own Pokérod later. I then found myself a village, where I was the cause of a big explosion, so I looted everything and then left as fast as I could. And right before the day switched to 118, Ryodu was ready to evolve, but I accidentally completely forgot about it. I then started searching for a shipwreck cove with the map I found in the Pokérod structure, but I gave up when getting killed by a Clavitzer. Oh, well. Spoon then brought me to an Alphaba barrel, which I went on to catch, before collecting some tumblestones, which we can use for ancient Pokeballs. I then actually found Misty, who actually had a Pikachu, and...
Misty got a Kyogre?
What?
Well, it makes a bit more sense than Pikachu.
And then Spoon and I were looking through the nether to find a fortress. Once we found one, I started to collect some blaze rods, before heading back home. When I returned home, I had enough blaze rods to open the end portal, so I crafted some Eyes of Enders and prepared for the end. And with prepare, I mean getting a bow and arrows. I then evolved my Marill into a Azumarill, before searching the end portal. After finding the stronghold, it didn't take me long to find myself an unknown L. And yes, I'd happily take this L. And after finishing looting the stronghold, I finally found the portal. When I was digging towards a Noibet that I saw on my minimap, I noticed that there was an ancient city nearby. Let's ignore that for now and just catch the Noibet. And then it was finally time to enter the end.
Yahoo!
And you've seen this fight so many times already, so I'm not going to bore you with it. All you gotta know is that Spoon did not set a spawn point and actually died, while I was killing the Ender Dragon on my own. By the time I returned to the overworld, it was already day 120, and Spoon found a Melton, which I was allowed to catch. We then returned back to the end to go look for some shulker shells, and I'll tell you why we need this later. Spoon had found an end city and sent me to court so I could help collecting shulkers. Oh, and Misty was there again. Misty, excuse you, this is the end, you're not supposed to be here. The next day I returned home and spent half the day researching how to evolve Melton, but I still don't know. I moved a villager into my home since I wanted a roommate, and then bought myself 4 Terra Shards and crafted myself a Terra Orb. Terra Orb is an item we need to terrestrialize our Pokemon. Terrestrializing makes it so that you can change the typing of your Pokemon into something completely different. For example, if I had a Pikachu, which is an electric type, and I gave him 50 water shards, and I terrestrialized him, he turned into a water type. I then crafted 4 box links and handed one to Spoon.
Oh,
Now,
that's so cool.
if you hover over it, it says yellow
Yeah.
chat. What does it say? Press?
Slash to open the
backslash.
PC.
So the one below backspace.
Okay.
And then
Oh, wow.
do one thing more.
If I just have it over here, I could
Yeah,
just...
but you can do even better. It doesn't need to be in your inventory. You can put it on your
Doesn't?
leggings. There's a specific slot on your legs slot.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool.
For you guys who don't know, a box link is basically a portable PC. We could now access our PC at all times, even if we weren't near a PC. And if you don't know what a PC is, it's basically the place where you store your Pokemons. Since Dan didn't respond a single time in the last couple of days, I decided to just put a chest down in his house containing the box link. And I finally noticed that Ryoda was able to evolve, so I evolved him into Lucario. I was looking at you.
Oh, hello. Amazing. You look like Bonnie.
I was usable.
Now he's usable.
Um,
What? That's so cool. That is so cool.
I then continued to fangirl over Lucario on my back for a solid 2 minutes before Spoon found something out.
Holy fuck!
What's he got now? Is that his Rayquaza?
No, he paid
How much you paid?
40,000 Pokedollars.
For real?
Yeah, I'm on 71k.
I gave quite some XP candies to Lucario before challenging the same trainer Spoon had just earned 40,000 Pokédollars from. And after fighting him, I got 35,000. But you gotta admit, Lucario on my back's pretty cool, right? I really need mending, so I decided to get a villager, bring it back to my home, and have another roommate. However, the villager was not turning into a librarian, so I decided to just leave it for now. I beat another trainer, got another 28k, and then the villager had finally become a librarian. But he didn't have the right trade, so I destroyed the lectern, and he ignored it again. And while I was fighting this trainer, I figured out their Pokemon actually are battle ready, meaning some of these fights might be way too hard for us. And then the next trainer had a Calyrex, and a Kyurem. Maybe we just aren't ready for these battles yet. I then tried one last trainer fight, but there was no chance I was beating that fight either. Luckily, my dopamine was raised slightly when I actually caught myself a Rowlet. Oh, hi, Misty. I battled another trainer and finally won. Okay, nice Mewtwo. Let's fucking go. How many I won. I got a W. I finally got a W. All that for 11k. I then gave Rayquaza a ton of performance enhancers. And on day 125, my Rayquaza blocked Spoon from his home.
What's happening?
Well,
What's going on?
I think...
Oh, you're fucking huge ass.
I think...
I can't get in my house.
You're gonna have to wait a little bit.
Get him out of the way.
I can't keep battling.
I can't get out of I can't get in the
I then taught my Pokemon some different moves, as me and Spoon were about to have a battle. But right before we started the battle, I also crafted myself a Lucario Knight. And once the night had arrived, it was finally time that we started our double battle. I started off with my Gengar and Mewtwo, while Spoon decided to choose Charizard or Rayquaza. Gengar put Spoon's Rayquaza to sleep with Hypnosis, as all the other Pokemon their attacks missed. With Rayquaza sleeping, I wanted to make sure that he would be fainted before he could attack, so I made sure to use both Gengar and Mewtwo to attack him, and managed to defeat him with receiving minimal damage. Spoon then sent out his Venusaur, and Mewtwo did a ton of damage with Psy Strike to Charizard. Gengar followed with Hypnosis, and Spoon then retaliated with using Venusaur's Sleep Power on my Mewtwo. Gengar used Hypnosis on Venusaur, and now everyone was asleep apart from Gengar. I swapped out Gengar for Scizor, and Mewtwo woke up killing Charizard with Psy Strike. Spoon's Venusaur also woke up and used Sleep Power on my Scizor. Mewtwo then O-Code Venusaur with Psy Strike, and Dragonite O-Code Scizor with Fire Punch. For those who don't know what O-Code means, it stands for One Hit KO, or One Hit Knockout. Spoon then sent out his own Gengar, followed by me sending out Lucario. Spoon's Gengar put my Mewtwo to sleep before Lucario defeated him with Bone Rush. Dragonite did some good damage on Lucario, but it wasn't enough to faint him. Spoon then sent out his last Pokemon, Clefable, but Lucario OHKO'd her with Meteor Mash before she could do anything. Sadly, Lucario got hit by Dragonite's Fire Punch, so he fainted himself too. I sent out Gyarados, who used Hurricane on Dragonite, but did barely any damage. Mewtwo then finally woke up and did massive damage on Dragonite with Psy Strike, and Gyarados got hit by Outrage, but was able to tank it before finishing Dragonite off with another Hurricane. That's 1 battle done, and 2 to go. We're setting a good pace here. With that fun battle over, I showed down my Lucario that can go in my shoulder.
What the fuck?
That's so cool, right?
That's
It's
awesome.
so cool.
That is awesome.
Dan then reminded me of this weird crafting recipe we found, and I could Mega Evolve Lucario with just a diamond. I went to get myself a diamond and evolved Lucario into Mega Lucario, and then we figured out it was a permanent evolution. We could turn him Mega, but there was no way to turn him back. We then decided it wasn't really fair, so I used some legal ways to turn him back to normal, and then gave Dan a Gimmighoul for a Tyranitar. Dan also handed me 4 netherite scrap, and armed his Gimmighoul with a shovel, while I armed my Pichu with the axe, and while Spoon evolved his Marill, Pichu decided that it was ready to evolve into a Pikachu. And now that it is a Pikachu, I can give it an Ash Cap to turn it into Ash's Pikachu.
Oh, it turned back into a Pichu.
What?
Huh? What the fuck? Yeah, it did.
It turned back into a Pichu.
It looks so
What is it now?
cool, though. Now it's a Pikachu.
And when I do
with an
this,
Azumarill
it's
behind
not a
it.
Pikachu.
It becomes a Pichu.
No, now it's a Pichu.
Well, for me, it's a Pikachu, and that's what matters. With the netherite scrap I got from Dan, I made myself a netherite ingot, and upgraded my backpack into a netherite backpack. We then talked a little about the essential mod we use, and the emotes.
Man, you and your paid emotes.
I don't have paid emotes. What are you on about, bro?
Man, fuck you.
We're not even using some essentials for multiplayer anymore.
Oh my god, he's got a dinosaur onesie now.
That's it.
Yo!
Fuck you guys.
Oh shit!
Oh, shit! Well, I feel like I came a bit underprepared in here.
I then decided I want to get more netherite, but gave up immediately when I found a Magby. After returning home without a netherite, Dan was kind enough to give me 1 more ingot, so I could upgrade my storage remote. I went on to flatten out the area behind my house, so I could expand. Oh, and Misty's back again. I grabbed 2 Eevees from my box and took them with me to level up the friendship, because friendship is the most annoying type of evolution I have ever seen. Once nighttime arrived, I decided it was time to start working on a little iron farm. And it was at this point that my Twitch chat decided to ask me something.
What's your favorite song of the whole musical? I like Suffering the most.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that sounds mental when I say it like that. It's such a good song, I swear.
Uh-huh.
I like Suffering
What
the
did
most.
your therapist tell you?
And while I was looking for a zombie for the iron farm, this happened.
Ryan, can you read this for me?
Can I read what for you?
Oh.
According to unknown laws of aviation, there's no way the bee could be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, just flies anyway because the bees don't care what human thinks is possible. Yellow, black, white.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Remember, guys, he just read that flawlessly.
Yeah, that was I personally,
Illiterate.
honestly, I don't think he read that flawlessly. I think he knows that just by heart.
Now with the base of the farm done, we just need villagers. I went back to the other village, where I caught myself a Togepi, before kidnapping a villager for the iron farm. Once back home, I wanted to make a small breeder, but this happened instead.
Lehihu. Amen. 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 Amen.
Now I really need that breeder. I crafted a chunk loader so my farm wouldn't stop growing, before moving the villagers into this house that I turned into a breeder. On day 130, I decided it was best to move the trapped villager into the breeder as well. However, it turned out that a zombie had managed to sneak in and was killing the other villagers. I traded Spoon a Magby for a Stantler, an Eevee for a Swinub, and I borrowed his Typhlosion so I could breed some Cyndaquil. I then brewed some weakness potions so I could heal the infected villagers. The next 2 days weren't that exciting, as all I did was cure another villager, and once there were enough baby villagers, I moved 3 of them into the iron farm, where they can live the rest of their life. I then finally got us a mending villager, And it's absolutely crazy it took so long, as I normally get one of these before going to the end. I then accidentally made 16 buckets, don't ask me how, before going to the nether and get some lava for the iron farm. I also caught myself a Macargo and a Slugma, before finishing the iron farm at the end of the day. As I was in a dire situation and needed mending fast, I was looking through our villagers to find ways to get emeralds. Wait a minute, we can turn...
Wait a minute in the distance.
We can turn feathers into emeralds. Spoon, we're making a chicken farm.
Oh, right. It's not... Chicken.
La 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 lava. Chicken. I then caught myself an oddish before leading some chickens into my home to start a lava chicken farm. On day 135, Typhlosion had finished laying 3 eggs, and I decided to start breeding Tyranitar. Seeing how big he was, and we were about to start breeding a lot, I decided it was time to expand our breeding yard. I then caught a Score Bunny, which was dancing on Dan's healing machine, and Spoon returned with a Dialga, and this happened.
That's how you scan? That's so cool. I'm sorry.
We're on day 135 and Spoon's discovered how to use a Pokédex.
Yes. Yes. I saw you scanning. I was like, wait, that's a thing. I'm serious. I had no idea.
Dan then found a Mewtwo who summoned a Spoon to attack him with. Don't ask. And while we're doing the farm, the Cyndaquils hatched. I evolved my Oddish into a Gloom, and then gave her a Sunstone, to evolve her into Blossom.
You're
tiny.
so tiny.
I then bought myself a trainer card from this trainer association guy, but to be honest, I didn't use it a single time in these 100 days, maybe in a possible 300 days in the future. Dan told me I could grab his upgrade and his Electrolyzer, which I then used to make myself a Pokénav. This item allows us to check for Pokemon that spawn nearby. I then had the amazing idea to spawn a couple of Raikous so I could level up Cyndaquil super fast, but banned the strategy later since it was too broken. Not shortly after, I evolved both Cyndaquils into a Quilava, and one of the Quilava into a Typhlosion. The rest of the day was spent just exploring for new biomes, but Spoon said this.
You know what's annoying? I don't know how you've had it done, but in my box, I had page 1 as Kanto, then 2 and 3 also Kanto.
Mm-hmm.
So I use my, what's it called, Charizard. So every time I get a new Pokemon, that slot
I have
for
that as well,
Charizard-
in my scissor slot.
Well, I
try
done-
not using that Pokemon, but...
I get it, but what I've done right now, it's really, really quickly done. I did it in like a minute. I swapped everything to another tab.
Yeah, but...
If you do it now,
Or
you
you-
can move everything one tab,
Yeah, but Spoon,
Really easily.
you forget that I'm living Dex.
and then you have a mailbox.
And even though I really didn't want to do this, once I finished it, it was really nice to have. So Spoon, I thank you for this. That was a genuinely good idea. I know. Crazy I'm saying this, because you never have those. After finding nothing but snow for the entire day, I decided it was time to just go back home. There I caught myself a Snubble, before finding out that we had a small bug in one of our updated mods. Mewtwo.
Oh my
Mewtwo
god!
was a kid.
Oh my god! I don't need it.
Oh my deck, and that's an okay.
Guys,
someone
there's a
actually
bug.
doing it.
Guys, there's a bug. Guys, there's a bug. That's,
What?
There's a bug.
Red spawns.
The new
to
update,
fucking-
the new...
I was wondering if you
Whenever
throw
he
out
throws
Mewtwo.
out-
Whenever
whenever
someone
he throws
throws
out
out a
Mewtwo.
Pokemon.
No way, really?
Yeah, I think yeah, so the thingy has a bug momentarily.
Right, quick.
So if I
And
do,
what-
if I,
Oh man.
oh, oh no!
Oh, this is gonna make a very fun dynamic this stream. Shiny Tar- oh wait.
Oh, right, of course you do.
Why does Snom not come up when I throw him out? He's legendary.
I caught myself a Porygon, which I was very happy about. Porygon, 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 Porygon. I then also taped myself a cat, and this is Lucy. Say hi, Lucy. I went back to the nether to get some more ancient debris, but I died. And back in the overworld, I went on to explore, where I found myself a second Snubble, which I accidentally evolved without the animation. My bad. When I returned home, I finally had enough Larvitar eggs for my living decks. Day 140 started off with me putting Clefable in the breeder, and selling some iron of my farm to the merchant. I grabbed my Cleffa egg from the breeder, and put Scizor inside of the breeder. I had to do this because we used our old Scyther to evolve him into a Scizor. I caught myself another Snubble, and right after, Cleffa hatched from their egg. Since the starters are quite hard to find, Dan has been looking for Chikorita for us for about 6 days now. Dan, are you near home?
Am I? No.
Okay, well, are you in the nether?
No.
I got you, okay.
I'm looking for your chikorita, bro.
Oh, yeah! Great, you did. Thank you.
And I'm getting fed up with it.
Ryan then handed me 2 water stones, as I needed these for Suicune. When I got back home, the larvitar eggs were ready to hatch. And after going back to exploring straight away, I found myself a Bunsley. Speaking of exploring, you know what baffles me?
What?
Look at me, I'm behind you.
Baffling.
I went towards Ryan, started exploring, and I found home.
Yeah, the same. I went out.
What did
And I was like, hey, a village. Oh, wait, it's home.
What the hell? The rest of the day wasn't that entertaining, but I did plant some mints in my garden. I started the next day off with catching myself a Torchic, while Dan gave up catching us a Chikorita.
But Ash, I'm just gonna let you know, I think Chikorita's gonna be a tough.
At the end of the day, Scizor had finally laid a Scyther egg, and I put Poliwrath into the breeder. I handed my Poliwhirl King's Rock, and traded it with Spoon to evolve into Politoed. I then bought some golden carrots from the merchant, and gave him some more iron. The next day was spent mostly exploring, but I did manage to find myself a biome where I could spawn Suicune, which I managed to catch the next morning. Before finding myself a Togekiss, which I also caught. I continued on exploring and found myself in another village, where I found something pretty important while I was looting it. Oh, what? Yes! Oh, and a crit capture! And as I continued exploring, I actually found myself a Spiritomb, which I really wanted to catch, but killed by accident. On day 145, I was able to evolve Eevee into Espeon, and once nighttime fell, my other Eevee into Umbreon. And as I was fighting for my life in the swamp, I found a JoJo's reference. Is that a JoJo reference? Silly JoJo fan. It is a JoJo's reference.
JoJo.
I caught myself another Poliwhirl to replace the one that we evolved. I suppose I'd never had to put Poliwrath in the breeder then. Huh. The day after started off with an Alpha Muck, which I tried to catch, but sadly killed himself. So I caught a Grimer instead. I also managed to catch myself a Yanma. And after returning home, I emptied my inventory and leveled up Chikorita with a EXP candy. I then evolved him into Bayleaf, and straight into Meganium, before putting them in the breeder. We then stumbled upon this conversation about tea. Tea?
Something exotic but not weird. Tacos, fish, something
Is
spicy.
tea an option?
No, because it's not
Tea
food.
Tea, ... Oh, that's not food.
That's the one. I fucking love tea. I bought new tea,
You love tea.
and I spent 50 bucks on tea, and then 20 bucks on shipping for that specific tea.
You
So-
get more boring by the day. I love you so much.
And I caught myself a Houndour, and later evolved a Swinub into Piloswine. An Alpha Terra spawned, which I caught of course, but I also caught a couple of Grottles. And a Nursery. I bought 2 mending books and applied them to my helmet and my boots, before buying another mending book and a Cherish Ball to craft myself a Pokérod. Spoon was fishing in the swamp for Totodile, and I decided to join in. But instead of a Totodile, I got this. What the fuck? I got a red orb.
What? You really?
I got a red orb, and I got Oak's letter.
Oh,
From
wow.
the same fish.
You can get some
And I got a bow.
pretty insane shit. Did you need a whooper?
And then Spoon and I fished for a long time. The next day did start off with catching a Quagsire, but apart from that, the only thing that happened was Spoon trading me a Wooper, and Larvitar evolving into Pupitar. Aside from that, it was just fishing for a Totodile, which by the way, isn't quite an easy spawn. On day 150, there was nothing, but it does mark the halfway point of our journey. And because of that, I'd like to take a short amount of time to talk about the sponsor of this video, my merch store. I've redone most of my designs, and I've even added a couple of new ones. So if you want a nice comfy hoodie, or even a mug, make sure to check out the link in the description. But let's get back to Totodile. The next day, I decided it was time to just fly around the swamp as Spoon was fishing. This way we'd optimize the spawn chance as he was fishing for it, and I was just walking around to spawn him. I then found this weird structure which I explored. A bit dark here, I need some light. I almost got murdered. The next day, there was still no Totodile. And then this happened. Oh my god.
Have you found a Totodile?
Well, we got a Marshtomp.
Oh.
I guess you found a...
Marshtomp, you know. For Hoenn, you know. Next 100
Yeah.
days, you know. Yeah, not quite a Totodile. But it's a good catch either way. But then finally... Stop moving! Yeah, it took a couple of days, but eventually we did catch a Totodile. Once I returned home, a game had laid quite the amount of eggs, and I caught myself a Alpha Stonejourner, which is massive, by the way. Did I show you guys about Lucario? I probably did, but...
Yeah, he mounts on your back.
Admit it, it's pretty cool. I then evolved my Bonsly into Sudowoodo, before expanding my garden to make myself an apricot farm later. Day 155 started off with all those Chikorita eggs hatching, and me building a new apricot farm. I then found Misty once again, and evolved Chikorita into Bayleaf. Spoon had then found an observatory, and sent us to court to check it out. Sadly, didn't have another Black Z crystal for me, but the rest of the loot was pretty decent. This structure is part of the Mega Showdown mod, which is the mod that adds Mega Evolution, Z-moves, Terrestrializing, and even Dynamaxing now. With the EXP candies found in the structure, I was able to evolve Totodile into Croconaw, and then straight into Feraligatr. I then found an item that I was looking for in the last 100 days video. Oh my god, a lucky egg! And after returning home, I put Feraligatr into the breeder. As I was exploring, I found this structure, which actually had a wishing star for me. Wishing star crystal. I finally found a jungle, which meant we'd have a lot of more Pokemon to catch now. I then went back to the savannah I found and tried to shiny hunt an Entei, but I gave up on that and just got a normal one instead. Is what I would like to say. I actually lost him and caught myself a Fanfi instead, before spawning another Entei in and capturing this one instead. I also got myself a Natu, and a Zubat, which in order to get to Crobat, is another Pokemon that needs friendship. Yay! I then found myself a Desert Temple, which I looted. And while exploring the rest of the desert, I actually managed to catch myself a Dunsparce. And after returning home, I collected a Totodile egg from the breeder and crafted myself a Dynamax band. Which at the moment is kind of useless, since we need a specific energy to Dynamax, which can only be emitted by power spots. I collected another Totodile egg before evolving both Natu and Fanfi into Xatu and Donphan. Now that they were evolved, I just needed their pre-evolutions for the living dex, so I put all my Dittos and a couple of Pokemon in the breeder. This, however, wasn't the smartest idea, but more on this later. And while I was crafting a camera, my first Totodile egg had hatched. And it didn't take long for my second one to hatch either, while I was collecting some kelp. I then crafted myself some film on day 160, and let Spoon take a picture with my camera.
How do I make the fucking
I think
picture?
you right click or left click. I then also crafted myself a Lightroom, and unlike the program in Adobe, I have no clue how this one works. Oh, and I never figured it out either. Remember when I said putting all my Dittos in a single breeder wasn't the smartest idea? It turned out they did it together and made some random eggs. So, after battling for a while, I evolved Totodile into Croconaw, and Grimer into Muck. So Blood Red Fox, I hope you're happy and able to rest easily now. So, I made a steak.
A steak?
Yes.
No, but for real, I made a small mistake. I reinstalled my recording software, and now the bitrate is, well, it's not that good. I hope the rest of the videos is as enjoyable as the first half, but I really couldn't fix the bitrate problem anymore. It's not as bad as I thought it originally was, but it's still not the best quality ever. I'm sorry, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. The next day started out with Dan doing something extremely funny.
Okay.
This is your alter ego.
The Twisted Spoon. That's worth
Worth
it. It was worth it. It was definitely worth it. Alright, yeah.
Have fun.
Where did I die?
I made a couple more breeders, and this way we could breed multiple Pokemon at the same time without having another Ditto egg incident. I got myself my first Tyrogue egg, and this is also where I found out that we needed a Blissey. I need to evolve a Chauncey! No! I traveled to the swamp where I caught myself a Miss Dreyfus, and once I got back, I got a couple more eggs of Tyrogue, Horsey, and Happiny. Oh, and while I collected these eggs, my first Tyrogue egg actually hatched. I put a Happiny egg in Spoon's chest, and now we just need an Oval Stone. Again. Spoon, there's a Chansey egg in your... Well, Chansey, Happiny egg in your...
Oh, but I have an oval stone. What do I do with it?
You have an Oval Stone?
No. Die. You stay away from my oval stone. Quick. No. Oh no.
what happens?
No. Can someone send me codes to the house? I accidentally clicked a bed in a random nearby village.
While grinding levels, another Tyrogue egg hatched, and in the last 60 days, I've been planting these mints. They'll help us turn the nature of our Pokemon into a different one, which will be super helpful to evolve Tyrogue into Hitmontop, since we need his attack EV and his defense EV to be the exact same. So I crafted myself a Bolt Mint, which didn't work, did some research, crafted a Calm Mint, and that one was exactly the one we needed to evolve Tyrogue into Hitmontop. And right after I did, Dan actually called for my attention.
Have you seen Claire's face?
Oh, I thought you were talking about my face on my stream. I was like, what'd I do, man?
No,
What I
Claire. Her head breathes. How else do I explain that? Ash, come outside of your house.
Oh!
Have a look at Claire here. Her head like pulsates.
After that, I put Jinx in the breeder, while Happini was ready to hatch from her egg. And then I was about to use Spoon's Ovalstone. However, it doesn't work.
You were gonna use it in front of my fucking face?
No.
I think he was.
That is some next level fucking bullying right there. That is next level.
Why?
I got it back.
Yeah.
And you've used it?
Yeah.
You lucky fuck.
And then it was back to grinding levels. I evolved Horsey into Seadra, and right before I was going to trade with Spoon, I misclicked.
It doesn't matter, mate. Just give me a
Right, it doesn't matter? Gotcha. Oh, whoa! You're mine now, Spoon! You're mine now, Spoon! Dan, look outside. You're mine now, Spoon! You're coming with me!
Wait.
What the fuck?
You're mine now, Dan! What happened? Whoa! Wait, Spoon, come to me, 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 come to me.
Okay, wait.
Oh, what am I holding?
Grab me? Nothing. Alright, someone grab. Okay. Okay.
No, you got me.
Dan?
Grab me, Dan, grab me. No, you can't. Once you grab someone, you can't grab anyone.
Ah, you
Oh. Wait, who are you holding?
I'm not.
Ah.
It's sad. Wait. Oh, I gotta show you a trick with this. I figured it out with Bubby. If you pick up a trainer and then place him down,
What's
What?
that?
they disappear. I then made Seadra hold a dragon skill, as this will be needed to evolve. Spoon then traded me 2 Chinchows, and we also traded our Seadras to evolve them into Kingdras. I then evolved one of the Chinchows into Lantern, Houndour into Houndoom, and grabbed a Smoochum egg from the breeder. We then figured out that we could actually put people onto each other's Pokemon.
Okay.
Wait, are you moving him?
I think I am. Yeah, I am.
This evolved and evolved until we were all flying together on a single Dragonite. And after all of that, Smoochum hatched from their egg. On day 165, Spoon bought me his Mentine so I could breed it and get myself a Mentike. The rest of the day was spent hunting for Gligar and Skarmory, but instead I caught myself a shiny Poochyena. I caught myself a Natu, and continue looking for Gligar and Skarmory. Zubat's friendship has gotten pretty high, but it was all for nothing, because Dan gave me a shiny Golbat, which meant we'd have to start from scratch. I then collected the eggs from my breeder, giving me the following eggs. As I was looking for wither skeletons in the nether, Spoon had to disappear for a moment.
He's AFK on top of his house as well.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen to him. After finally finding a nether fortress that would actually spawn wither skeletons, I stayed there for a while to farm their skulls, before getting called back by Ryan and Dan, as well. I suppose Spoon was in a bit of a pickle.
Have you seen what's up there? I don't know what's inside there, Ash.
I think Spoon.
Inside there is it's a cocoon of obsidian.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And then over there, and the other one is the spawn point.
But while I was in the nether, Mentike, Natu, Houndour, and Teddiursa all had hatched from their eggs, and I obtained another Mentike egg. Because I thought Mentike was part of Gen 2 too, like also part of Gen 2, not Gen 22. This is getting confusing. I then moved the skeleton spawner near my house, as I'm thinking about working on a small EXP farm. And the next day, Spoon returned. Oh no, have you spawn trapped him?
Oh, no.
Guys, stop it, please.
What have you done? What happened to my house?
To cheer him up, I traded him back his Mentike. And to evolve Mentike, you actually need a Remoraid in your party, which is such a weird evolution condition, but here we go. And to finish today, I caught myself a Giraffaric and an Apom. Once the final number hit, I went back to looking for Gligar and Skarmory, which was unsuccessfully once again, but I did catch myself a Slitherwing. Day 170 started off amazing. I caught myself a Quillfish, a Corsola, and then found this crazy big cave, which I explored. When I returned home, I gave up on the Gligar and Skarmory hunt, so both Spoon and Dan were going to try their luck at it. I instead went to look for Shuckle, but not before looting this lush cave. I also caught myself a Carnivine in case we do a Hoenn in a 300 days video. I then found some max mushrooms, which will help us increase our Dynamax power, as soon as we can Dynamax, that is. And as I continued to explore the cave, I actually managed to find myself a Shuckle quite easily. Once I got home, I planted some max mushrooms and went through my PC to check which Pokemons we were still missing. Crobat and Blissey were already in the works, Phanpy I can easily obtain by breeding Donphan, Porygon already has an upgrade, I just need to wait for Spoon to have one, and the Legendary and Mythicals have their own items to spawn them with. So that leaves only 8 Pokemon to be found for us. While exploring, I actually found myself a Weavile, which isn't a Gen 2 Pokemon, but its pre-evolution is. So I caught it just so I could breed it into a Sneasel. Oh, and look at Golbat's enormous tongue. And then found a mansion not long after. I know, crazy generation, huh? But it's not like we needed this structure for a specific Pokemon or anything. Huh, would you look at that? But before I could spawn it, I died.
No!
Ryan then joined Spoon and Dan on the Skarmory hunt, and instantly found one.
Skarmory.
What?
Yo, really?
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Holy shit, yeah.
Man's like, listen to my music and a fucking Skarmory spawns.
I then crafted 10 Dynamax candy and a power spot using another wishing star that I had found. And after placing down the power spot, we were finally able to Dynamax our Pokemon, which I immediately tried out with Dan after giving all the candies I had to Dragonite. Oh, here we go, here we go.
I'm so ready.
That's a very big...
Wait, can you put me on them?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, am I in the hitbox?
He's fucking huge.
I'm guessing you don't need this on a Skarmory then.
I do, but I can't come back 5,000 blocks.
Spoon gave me the Skarmory so I could breed it, before we started messing with Dynamaxing for the rest of the day. So here are my 2 favorite battles we did. First we had Snob and Joltik, and then my favorite, Guslord and Wailord. Oh my god, dude, Guslord is eating Wailord right now.
It's like a giant blue cigar.
And because I think this angle doesn't truly show how big Guslord can be, here is another angle we had earlier. To make it fair for everyone, I gave everyone some moss and a max mushroom so they could start farming their own. And right before I went to go back to the mansion, I heard this. Holy shit! Alpha Wobbuffet! That's just too perfect.
You're joking me.
And he spawned in my breeding area.
With white
Right,
out.
I'm coming to get a wob. Oh, there's wineouts.
Which I caught, of course. I made some max soup, gave this to Charizard, and now we can use Gigantamaxing. Which means all we need for now is a Z-Ring and a Z-Crystal, and then we'll have all gimmicks unlocked. While making my way to the mansion, I stumbled across this. Who the hell made a gunpowder farm?
Oh man.
What the fuck?
Oh man.
It's not a gunpowder farm, it's just a regular mob farm.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
got the trapdoors to stop spiders.
Gotcha. When I arrived at the mansion, I found a room which I had never seen in my life before. Oh my god! I found the chicken jockey arena! And once nighttime hit, I went back home as Smeargle only spawns during the day. Spoon gave me some bread before asking me where he could find Delibird.
Actually, where does Delibird spawn?
Peak.
In...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
On day 175, I returned to the mansion to hunt for Smeargle, which I didn't find, but there was a Sprigatito. I evolved Chansey into Blissey, and came up with a new way to farm Pokemon, which I'm gonna go call spawn flipping. Basically what I was doing now was logging in and out of the server until a Smeargle would spawn. Smeargle! I'm sorry, Smeargle.
No way.
Woo, Smeargle. So that's one more for the Pokédex. Once home, I got myself a Sneasel egg and put some Pokemon in the breeder. Oh, and there was this zombie raid outside of my house. It was about time that I got myself a Z-Ring, and for that I'd need a Sparkling Stone. So it's time to look for some special archaeology sites. But first I upgraded my tool swapper upgrade, so I could configure which tools would swap and which wouldn't. While exploring, my Sneasel egg hatched, and it didn't take long for me to find our first archaeology site. But what are the chances of finding a Sparkling Stone first try? Oh, that's it! Alright, back home we go. Once back home, I obtained a Phanpy egg, and while making my way to the end portal, I killed a Drowned, which actually dropped me his trident. You might be asking, why go to the end portal? Well, remember that ancient city that we found a while back? I need an Echo Shard. I'll explain why later, but once we reached the ancient city, it didn't take long for me to find one. I also found myself a Swift Sneak book, before Phanpy hatched from her egg while I was sketching myself a Sinistea. Oh, and then Mr. Warden sent me back home.
No!
I added Swift Sneak to my leggings, crafted a protector, got a beautiful shiny Coughing, and then finally made myself a black Z-Ring. We actually used a separate data pack that changed the crafting recipes, so I didn't really need a Sparkling Stone because of the data pack being outdated. Spoon was then nice enough to let me use his blank Z-Crystal, which I turned into an Electrium Z-Crystal for Pikachu, which meant we had completed our goal of collecting all the different types of gimmicks. Completing our goal made Golbat so happy that he decided to evolve into Crobat. I then used their GS balls to spawn a ton of Celebes and caught one relatively quick. I also wanted a Lugia, though I went to look for a nearby ocean and actually found some sunflowers. These will help us later to spawn ourselves a Sunkern. I then spawned a Lugia with the Tidal Bell and managed to catch it relatively quick as well. Oh, and I caught a shiny Marini. To finish the legendaries, I also spawned a Ho with a Clear Bell, but on day 180 he despawned. I had almost used all of my Ultra Balls and I couldn't get another one to spawn, so for now I'll just head back home. Where I decided to Dynamax Lugia, and god does he look funny.
Oh, it's T-posing.
He is actually T-posing.
I then planted some sunflowers to make it possible for Sunkern to spawn in our village. Spoon has been getting a ton of my Pokemon so he could finish his dex, and he wanted more.
Also, we better breed some more Pokemon so I can finish my day. Anyway.
You'll get that. Once you get Delibird, I'll give you any Pokemon you need to breed. I just need you to get us a Delibird.
A belly bird.
A Belibird.
Gold end
I'll make some
video.
extra pastry blocks so that I can, you know.
Bake some baby.
Delibird! Yes!
Crazy. Crazy. One gets it for the first try. Spent literally like 2 hours yesterday doing
we're
that.
changing. We're changing this. We're changing. I meant Gligar.
Gligar, yeah.
And once in the Badlands, I spent the night trying to get myself a Gligar, which ended up unsuccessfully once again. And once I returned home, Spoon had a question for me.
Do you need to have a PC to use your link?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Holy shit!
What happened?
Oh my god!
What happened?
Because it's like a crucial one.
Holy fuck!
What did you do? So yeah, Ryan blew up half the village. Great. At least our houses survived. Oh, and I found Misty again. I got a couple more sunflowers so that I could try and increase the spawn rate of Sunkern, and just like last time, I handed Spoon all of the Pokemon he still needed so he could breed them. Since there was always someone in the village, the Pokemon weren't despawning there, so I had to make myself a second sunflower area away from the village. Spoon and I then traded and evolved our Porygons into Porygon 2s, and I grabbed a Delibird egg from Spoon's breeder before building a mob spawner for the skeletons. And once Delibird's egg had hatched, I actually finished building the mob spawner, which I decided I didn't really like and destroyed it. Talk about being counterproductive, right? I did, however, catch myself a Sunkern before immediately evolving him with the Sunstone into Sunflora.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
And of course, we need Sunkern for the living dex, so it's off to the breeder with him, as Misty is still stalking me. Go away, Misty. I don't want you here. And it didn't take long at all, but we already had a Sunkern egg. Spoon then started to trade back my Pokemons, and Sunkern hatched from their egg. I then crafted some more Dynamax candy, and put them together with my held items into a separate backpack. This way it would be easier for me to keep track which held items I owned. I then turned my Pokédex orange, because why wouldn't I? And on day 185, I decided it was time to get some more netherite. So I mined, and even mined some more, until my pickaxe was barely alive. While I went back to the overworld to explore a little bit, I actually found myself a Megaroid, which gave me a Medichemite. At home, my savior dropped from the sky to give me a single piece of netherite scrap, which combined with the 11 we just mined, makes a total of 3 netherite ingots. I then used these ingots to upgrade my armor into netherite, and I know you might see this as a waste, and you're not the only one. I do too when I look back on it now. But, you know, back then I thought it was a good idea. I then made some more mech soup, which I gave to my shiny Gengar, along with the 10 Dynamax candy, and then it was time to Gigantamax him.
Wait, that's not G-Max Gengar.
Turns out his G-Max form isn't in the game yet, at least not when I played. It was time to fix his mending problem, I needed XP to fix my tools, and I needed it fast. So I decided to make a skeleton farm right under my house. Because of this, I had to remove the legend item room, and while I was doing this, Ryan turned into Blackjack.
With the steel.
I made a small area to collect the skeletons below the used-to-be item room, which means that the room could have stayed, but we'll think of something else to put there later. While finishing up the skeleton farm, I had asked Ryan to join Spoon with the hunt on Gligar, because when he started to help them with Skarmory, he instantly found one.
On a Glaga.
Oh my god, I love you, Ryan. I can kiss you so hard right now.
You're joking, right?
No, head southeast to the very far
I can
end.
kiss him so hard. I then moved the skeleton spawner, which instantly started to spawn skeletons, and that meant that we had a working skeleton farm. With the XP farm functioning, I only had to clean it up a little bit, and boom, we're all set to repair our tools with mending now. Now I just needed Gligar and Ho-Oh, which we're actually going to go for now.
Here's your Gligar, mate.
Oh, thank you. Nice.
That's yours, complete in 10 minutes.
Then I just need the Ho-Oh, which I'm gonna go for now. You coming with, or?
Yeah, because I, you know.
The end of the Dex challenge is so close. It's all about catching a single Ho-Oh now, which surely can't be that difficult. Once we reach the location, I spawned a Lugia for Spoon and a Ho-Oh for myself. And this Ho-Oh fight was so annoying. Ho-Oh kept spamming Sunny Day, Sacred Fire, and Recover, which wiped my team twice. I had to make an entire water-based team just so I wouldn't get wiped out to catch it, and even then he got through 4 of the 6 Pokemon and over 2 stacks of Ultra Balls. But at least I caught him, and somewhere during this fight the Gligar egg had hatched, which means that we have officially beaten the Johto Dex. But there's still plenty we can do. On day 190, I tried to catch a Ho-Oh for Spoon. I was attempting to catch 3 Ho-Ohs at the same time, but it really wasn't gonna happen. I crafted a ton of Ultra Balls for Spoon and delivered them straight to him as I wished him good luck with catching that Ho-Oh.
Ultra Balls. Holy fuck. That's great.
That's the amount I had to catch mine, so should be enough.
Good to know. I hope I don't have to use that many Pokeballs. You have got to be kidding me.
When we got back home, I checked my breeder where I had put a couple of Tauroses to breed. This way I could try to get myself a box full of Tauroses, just like Ash in the anime. The next day, the 10 Tauros eggs had hatched, which is already more Tauruses than I've ever had in my life. I then went back to the Nether to get that final Wither skeleton skull to spawn a Wither. But I got distracted with this Honich and Charcadet. Lag? Lag? Hello?
No, lag is not a thing in this.
Are you sure about this? My Pokemons are walking on the spot.
Oh my god, I just got rubber banded so hard.
Okay,
Holy shit.
I am definitely lagging.
As you just saw, our server host had a couple problems at the moment, so I went to play some Gartic Phone. And here are our amazing drawings. We are basically professional artists. It didn't take long for the server to be online again, and I actually found myself a Phalanx, which is one of my favorite Pokemon, so I caught it of course. I then obtained my final Wither Skeleton Skull and safely returned home. When I got back, I evolved Charcadet into Ceruledge with some malicious armor, and gave Pikachu some Max Soup to check out his G-Max form, which actually works. I then needed some more money as I was trying to get myself a second Z-Crystal, so I went to battle a couple of trainers. Until I got flashbacks from the Ho-Oh battle.
Stop using recover!
This fight took so long that it was actually the next day and I had to recover my PP. PP. But once it was over, I got about 60k from the fight, and that's enough to buy myself another blank Z-Crystal. It was at this point that Spoon's stuff just magically disappeared.
I don't need your help for that anymore, but my stuff's gone. Everything's gone.
What the fuck?
I tried to look, but all my stuff's gone.
I used my remaining money to buy some golden carrots, and these should last us till day 200. A lot of trainers were gathering in front of my home, which I decided to stop.
Why are you killing them? Just pick them up and put them down.
You're right. I just... Oh no, oh my god. What? Double battle?
What is going on?
Oh, they died.
Oh, I sent him to the Shadow Realm while you was fighting him.
Spoon and Dan had decided to repair the blown up area, while I collected some arrows and bows. I handed out some bow and arrows to my friends, and spawned a little nice boss for us to fight.
No! It's been, no!
Oh my god.
Guys, I need your help with
Please!
this. Get away from the houses, get away from the houses, get over here, get away from the houses.
Oh my lord! We need to gain his attention now. Gain his attention now. I have his attention.
Aim on the Wither!
I have his attention!
You Wither!
Help!
I'm trying!
Carbonite! Fuck him up!
You're going too far, I can't aim from there! Turn around!
Come back, Spoon! Come back!
Turn around!
Go, Pokemon!
Yo, actually, go Dragonite! Go!
I'm withered.
You're withering away.
I'm gonna die. No!
You're too far, I can't hit him!
No! Oh!
Yes! Yes, Pokemon! Hit him!
He's almost half. There we go. Now he's in sword range. He's in sword range.
Everyone throw your Pokemon
Go
at him.
Lucario, go!
I'm just
Get him
walking
Lucario!
away.
Get him Lucario!
The Pokemon actually do crazy damage.
Spoon was slain by Charizard.
Get him Lucario!
Yeah!
There we go. Alright, thanks gamers.
Did we lose anyone important?
Well, no, not important, but...
No!
With that behind us, I used the Nether Star to make myself a beacon. I then noticed Ryan's particles through the ground and knew something was up. Ryan?
Yeah. Don't mind me.
Are you trying to steal my stuff as well now?
No, I'm taking your buckets.
What do you mean as well? Do you have my fucking stuff?
Thanks for the buckets.
Why are we digging around my fucking house?
Don't worry, man. I'm taking your buckets.
I guess we know where Spoon's stuff went now. There was no way I had enough resources to make a full-powered beacon, so for now it would have to be just level 2 instead. But at least I could make the beam orange. Spoon then sponsored me by buying me 7 rock gems, which I turned into a Lycanium Z crystal. This will let me upgrade the move Stone Edge on Lycanroc to the special Z move Splintered Storm Shards. I then got a migraine attack, but you gotta see what my friends did. Okay, I need to take a paracetamol. So I'm back in a bit.
A paracetamol.
Doesn't that normally mean that you're, like, not doing good?
Usually.
No, but let me bonk him. Does this fix your head? Does this fix your
Yeah,
head?
because bonking him's gonna fix him.
Does this fix your head?
I
got him outside. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. He's got a nice view of the of the stadium. I'm gonna look him in the eyes and wait until he's back.
I might be getting a migraine attack, so...
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, you're weak to psychic moves?
Migraine attack. Oh.
Wow, we are so sympathetic.
Yeah. I just found out he's weak to psychic attacks.
My fucking god.
Yo, the sad part is, though, I need a smithing template from him.
But it's all for fun. It's all jokes. Deep down, they cared.
No, we can stop if you're gonna die, dude.
Yeah, mate.
I don't want to stop.
It's all good. We can all no. We can come back to this. It's fine.
So that's what we did. We stopped on day 194. 5 real-life days passed by, and we finally got back together on the server. We were on day 195 after all, and I just challenged Dan to a Pokemon battle. I started out with Dragonite, as Dan started out with his Snom. Dragonite then O-code Snom with Outrage, before Dan sent out Snom the second. Dragonite then O-code Snom the second, with Outrage as well, before Dan sent out Snom the third. Dragonite then O-code Snom the third as well, with Outrage, before sending out Snom the fourth. Since Dragonite got paralyzed by his own attack, I had to switch in Lucario, who got hit with a mean Powder Snow. For my safety, I then evolved Lucario and O-code Snom the 4th with Meteor Mash before Dan sent out Snom the 5th. Since we just figured out there was a new animation for Mega Evolution, I swapped out to Pikachu to check out for some new animation on there, but got hit with a nasty Powder Snow. I then Gigantamaxed Pikachu, which sadly didn't have any new animation, but Dan did swap out Snom the 5th for Snom the 6th, and actually tanked a Max Lightning attack. Pikachu then used another Max Lightning attack to finish off Snom the 6th, as Dan sent out Snom the 5th back into the field. I then swapped out to Lycanroc to use a special Z move, but I didn't have Stone Edge on him, and again got hit with a mean Powder Snow. And then for my safety, Dan forfeited the battle. With that battle finished, I repaired my pickaxe in the EXP farm before attempting to catch myself a Trevenant, which I failed. I noticed Ryan's name tag underground and decided to ask him what he was doing. What's this about?
I'm digging a hole.
So he's a mole person now. Whatever floats his boat. He then went on to ask me,
Can I have a shovel?
and then it hit me. He just dug a tunnel to my home so he could get my stuff as well. He then told us he was going to make a little treasure hunt, so me and Spoon decided to humor him for now. We're also pretty close to getting a full box of Tauroses. Only 3 more, and that's so doable. Well, unless someone decides to break my breeding area, but who would do such a thing? I then thought I broke my mouse. Guys?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah?
I broke my mouse. Never mind. It's still there. Never
I
mind.
just looked at your stream and you start spinning violently.
And while waiting for Ryan to set up his treasure hunt, I just decided to do some light cleaning. And while I did that, this happened.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna carry Ash on an adventure that will make him happy again. The fuck is this thing?
It's a Burmy.
No, it's not. No way, that's a Burmy.
Oh, look, there's a second one.
What the fuck are these things? I've never. 1 second. I need to know what the fuck these are.
That's a Burmy.
It is not a Burmy.
It's a Burmy.
It's a. Why do they look like that?
While Dan and I were on a little adventure, Spoon was still cleaning up the village. But that would soon end, since it was finally time for the treasure hunt. Alright, what happened with
Oh,
the
my
fucking...
beloved
What
iron.
happened with the...
No, stop! I'm in charge. We're redoing that.
Oh my.
So, Ryan blew up our homes, and this is everything that survived. I then watched as Spoon, Dan, and even Ryan repaired the giant crater he blew into our village. I suppose we're going to be in a rebuilding phase if we do a 300 days, but to gain some joy, I caught myself an Alpha Arcanine. Ryan showed me to my stuff, so for now, I suppose I'm going to be living in this mountain. I made a new storage connector before going to sleep, and look at Lucario, he's so cute! And here it is, day 200, the final day. I made a new storage terminal, which I upgraded into a crafting terminal. Spoon luckily saved my power spot, which I placed down together with the smallest of beacons. I went through my Pokemon's moveset before challenging Ryan for a Pokemon battle. If I were to lose this battle in this specific moment, I would never forgive myself. As I started my battle with Ryan, I sent out my Lycanroc as he started off with his Ceruledge. Lycanroc then OHKO'd his Ceruledge with Rock Slide, and Ryan sent out his Venusaur, who OHKO'd my Lycanroc before I sent out my Ceruledge. Ceruledge then did some pretty decent damage on Venusaur with Flame Charge, meaning we also got a speed boost from it. Venusaur then retaliated with Power Whip, which didn't do much, but Ceruledge then finished him off with another Flame Charge, meaning we got another Power Boost. But after obtaining that boost, Ryan sent out his Electrive, which Ceruledge burned with Will-O-Wisp, but Electrive also paralyzed Ceruledge with Thunder Wave. I then swapped out Ceruledge with Gyarados, who instantly got OHKO'd by Discharge. I know, not my smartest move, but I wanted to clean switch in while preserving Ceruledge, just in case. Never mind, I just sent in Ceruledge again. I don't know what I was doing here. Ceruledge then used Shadow Sneak, which did some chip damage, as Electrive returned with another Discharge, which did more than I liked. Ceruledge used another Shadow Sneak, which did even less damage than the last one, and Electrive finished Ceruledge off with another Discharge, before I send out my GOAT, Lucario. I Mega Evolved Lucario and used Extreme Speed to finish off Electrive, but Ryan then sent out his Charizard. Lucario then used another Extreme Speed, as I wanted to do some chip damage, since I knew he was gonna get OHKO'd by Charizard here. But Lucario actually managed to survive the Flare Blitz, but he wasn't borrowed time now as he was burnt. But Charizard also did take some recoil damage. Lucario then almost killed Charizard with another Extreme Speed, but since he was burnt, his power was decreased, and he got finished off by Inferno. And knowing that I had to turn the tides, I sent out my own Rayquaza, who finished off Charizard with a Hyper Voice, and Ryan sent out his Blaziken. I then terrestrialized Rayquaza into a pure Dragon type, but after that I actually missed a Hurricane attack. And while Rayquaza missed, Blaziken used Bulk Up to power up and swipe the rest of my team. Rayquaza then missed another Hurricane on Blaziken, and now it's starting to look bad for me. Blaziken then used Brave Bird, which did some decent damage on me, but Rayquaza finally hit a Hurricane and OHKO'd Blaziken, while Ryan sent out his own Rayquaza. Ryan then Dynamaxed his Rayquaza, but since my Rayquaza was faster and terrestrialized into a pure Dragon type, he actually OHKO'd Ryan's Dynamaxed Rayquaza because of the 2x stab on the Dragon type moves. And there we go, my secondary most important goal completed. And that's how I became a Johto Pokemon Master in 200 days of Cobblemon. Thanks for watching.